I'm Chris McDonough, a retired homicide detective. I've interviewed thousands of people, from serial killers to ministers. Welcome to the interview room. Welcome to the interview room, everybody. Good evening. On this Thursday evening, and quite frankly, this is a special show. I'm going to play a call tonight. A call that's caused me for quite some time to really think hard about every word that comes out of DW and CW. Tonight, we're going to hear a call where DW says, in a control phone call that I arranged with Mary, that he has visited places where children are being traded. Each of you know me, and you know my career, and you know I've been hunting these people for quite some time. So I want to give you a heads up, a trigger warning for our survivors out there that have been through things that I can't even imagine. I cannot even imagine. But the fact that this father of this missing 5-year-old little girl, Summer Wells, tells his sister that he has visited places in Los Angeles. And isn't it interesting that there was a trip to Los Angeles not long ago? And I think there were other people that went with him. Why tag along? So my question's going to be, did they visit a marketplace? Did they go out on their own and do things? I don't know. But I can tell you this, you're going to hear it tonight, exclusively on the interview room. And then I've got 2 friends coming up tonight. You guys all know Josh from the lab. I love his insight. Absolutely love his insight. And so he's going to come up, and along with Mary, who recorded this call with Don. And I'm just going to call him DW because I don't even like to have that name come across me anymore. I am here specifically on a mission to find Summer Wells and the truth. And whatever that means and whatever that takes, then I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Or at least I'm going to try to do it. Without the drama, in terms of all the infighting and all the other stuff. This is about a 5-year-old little girl who's missing, named Summer Utah Wells. And it's time. And the reason I'm releasing this tonight in its totality is because 2 reasons. One, I've been holding it for so long, I forgot I had it. And then 2, it's time that people really get to see the other side. And this is way back when, where early on, Jeannie and Mary and Trisha, Jeannie's daughter, they're the real heroes in this case right now to raise awareness to SA and other problems where women have been victimized. These women are our warriors. I'm nothing. I'm nothing outside of their strength. It's been an honor to have a career as long as I have and to be involved in this game. And by the way, sometimes it's a game to catch these people. And it's an honor to have you along for the ride. I can't wait. I cannot wait to hear your comments, keeping the chat classy. I can't wait to hear you weigh in because you have a voice. Each of you have a voice. And I thank you for your support of this channel. And we're growing because of you. We're growing because of our mods, Miss Sophia, Stephanie Erb, Maui Girl, Teresa Milligan, Mimi J2. We absolutely love these women who have been supporting us as we've been going along. And you, the subscribers, the members, the Patreon members, we cannot do this without you. So this is a group effort. As they say, it takes a village. Well, we have a village and we're building it. We're building it for summer. It's time, CW, that you step out of your comfort zone while you still have a chance. Because again, I want you to hear what you are supporting by staying with him. You have got to step back and see the big picture. I completely understand your circumstance, but now is the time for summer, for you, and for your future. While he's still in custody, it is time that you step forward for your baby, this little girl who's brought so much light and love to the world. We have the world here tonight. In fact, let's weigh in, do a roll call. Where are you at? Everybody put into the chat where you're tuning in from so that CW can see where you are, where you're watching, where you're learning. I've talked to many people. Russia is here, Florida, Oklahoma, Kentucky, Alabama, Pennsylvania, Maine, New Zealand, all around the world, South Carolina, Illinois, Southern Middle Tennessee. They're all here, CW, Salt Lake, New York City, Florida, Arkansas, Finger Lakes area, Knoxville, Russia in the house, East Texas, Ontario, Canada in the house, Kentucky, Utah. We're all here, CW, Boston, the UK. It's time. It really is time to bring this situation to a head. You hold the key, but don't open the girl's life to somebody that doesn't have the value of that life. There comes a time in life when you have to stand for innocence because the innocents cannot defend themselves. Could not have said it any better, vet girl. Thank you for your kindness. But tonight is the night, hopefully, that if there is a moral compass, that moral compass will come to the top. Because what you're going to hear, and I'm going to put it on here in a second. And the way we're going to do this is I'm going to give you a trigger warning right up front because he's going to talk about Jeannie. But what he wants to do in this call is to convince Mary to talk to Jeannie and talk her out of it. And then he gives reasons why. And of course, he's going to use that he was a youngster. What he fails to tell everybody, though, in the call, like always, is when it started, he was 12 and she was 5. 5. The same age as Summer. And this is what motivated Mary and Jeannie to call Tennessee Bureau of Investigations and say, I have some information. And this happened to me. So this is a control phone call that Mary, when she called me, and I coached her through it because that's what I do. And the answers came. It's not by accident that he talks about things that he's seen. It's not by accident that his son is a RSO, high risk RSO, still to this day registered. It's not by accident that Grandis, her brother, the state of Wisconsin didn't even want him out of prison because he was so dangerous and is dangerous to children and others, women. All of these coincidences all lined up in that family. And so when somebody says what you're going to hear here, remember that they register cars and offenders, SA offenders, across the United States. There's a reason for that. So that if they move, they know where it's at potentially. So this is a night about Summer 1000%. Our mods are on it. We'll keep it classy as always. But tonight, I want to give you a heads up. Spain is in the house too, and thank you so much. And I saw the UK is here. Forgive me for not saying that earlier. But so I'm going to go through a little of this, and then I'm going to bring Josh in, and then we're going to bring Mary up in a little bit as well. So Mary, in my opinion, on this call is an absolute superhero. So put your seatbelts on, TIR family. Thank you for being here. Here we go.
Hey, Mary.
Hey, Donnie, what are you doing?
Oh, I got people calling me like crazy talking about Jeannie's thing and McDonough's thing. Have you watched it?
Was that the one that he done with Jeannie just a couple days ago?
Oh, did you do one with him a couple days ago?
No, is that the one he done with Jeannie a couple days ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's saying that there's 5 people coming forward to testify against me. I done the same things to them.
Really?
Huh? Yes.
People?
They said there's five women come forward that say that I done the same thing to them. 5 women.
Oh, that must have been a different one. I haven't seen that one. I seen the one with Jeannie, but
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah. Now he's saying there's 5 women come forward, and the only ones I could think of was Trish and
Okay, so let's stop right there. 30 seconds into this. Okay. Did you just hear what he said? 5 women that came forward, and then he qualifies it by saying the only ones I can think of. Okay. Well, there must be a lot of thinking going on somewhere. And perhaps our memories aren't as sharp as they used to be. Red flag.
and I don't know. I have no idea.
I have no clue. I haven't talked to Jeannie for like 2 days.
So I'm going to play that back. Listen again.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Now he's saying there's 5 women come forward, and the only ones I could think of was Trish and Amanda, and I don't know. I have no idea.
I have no clue. I haven't talked to Jeannie for like 2 days because since before she done that interview, they got in my house and she's been moving into it.
Yeah.
So I haven't talked to her for since Sunday morning. But I'll have to ask her what's going on. Maybe she might know what's going on, unless Chris is just reaching for something, you know.
This is what I love about Mary. She is so good at bringing him in, for lack of a better term, that she's the one in this call you're going to hear that pulls it out of him. And guys, I got subscribers. I hit subscribers, but blow her channel up, her cooking channel. That woman deserves a lot more than I deserve. Go blow up, and we can put her channel in mods for later on for folks to go over there and absolutely light her cooking channel up for YouTube. Please subscribe over there. It'll be great. It would absolutely be amazing if you can do that. But listen to how she has handled him. And by the way, she herself is an SA victim where Don and 2 of his friends held her down and tried to SA her. But later, she was also a victim of a 261. I'll let you look up the California Penal Code section on that, okay, where this woman finally said, I have had enough in terms of internally for her. And she took her attacker head on like a champion, as cool as a cucumber. And that's what you're hearing here. What she's doing is she's deflecting everything to me, which I absolutely love.
I mean,
well, sometimes, a lot of times women will just make up stuff. Just, I'm not talking bad about women, but they'll do that. Just,
right.
I mean,
right. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he could be paying somebody to do it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think he's not talking about Trish and Amanda, would he be? Because you said Amanda never said anything like that.
No, he wouldn't be, not Amanda. And Trish, I don't think so either, because when Trish was on that interview with Jeannie, I think she said that you didn't do anything to her, did she?
I don't know. I didn't watch the whole thing.
Yeah,
It's so disturbing. I can't even watch it.
Yeah, I don't think she said anything about you, Donnie. But Jeannie did, not Trish. Trish was just, I think,
Yeah,
just there for support or
yeah,
something. So,
yeah.
but yeah,
Well,
Trish didn't say nothing, so I don't know who the hell he would be talking about.
I don't either.
I'll have to talk to Jeannie, see if I can't get a hold of her and see what's going on. Cause she'll tell
Would
me.
you do that? Would you do that and then call back and let me know? And
Yeah.
ask her. I mean, man, I don't know what to do. I've done that apology. I tried to apologize, live, and
Right. Well.
I'm willing to do it again. Whatever.
Right.
I mean, I'm just trying to.
Well, I don't know, Donnie. I talked to her after that second one, this one that she done with McDonough or whatever.
Yeah,
and I talked to her, and because I was asking her, I said, "So are you going to press charges or what's going on?" And she goes, "Well, it's kind of in the word." And I says, "Well, I talked to Donnie, and he wants to know what you want from him. What do you want from him?" And she's like, "I just want him to come clean about Summer."
Okay, so this is critical. The way Mary is handling this. What Dawn is worried about is how many women are going to come forward with SA allegations. And he reminds us that, he says, well, I know about Jeannie and I know, and by the way, I've apologized to her. As if, 7 years of abuse till she was 12 years old, just kind of gets wiped away, right? No, that right now you can't get your way out of this thing. And what she's doing is she's leading him into a path about Summer. And so she sets it up correctly, where she says, Jeannie wants you to come clean about Summer. So now think about that, right, guys? I mean, and you guys, this is a really, really amazing channel chat going here. I absolutely love it. I love how classy you are and how supportive you are each to each other and to Mary through this. But now he's getting to this place where he's got to shift his thought process from Jeannie to Summer, from Jeannie to Summer. Okay? It's very difficult for these guys because they lie so much and they manipulate so often that they can't quickly do it. So they pause, and you'll hear him his thought process slows down. And I talked to Dr. Simon a long time ago about these guys, about some of that process that they go through. And if you've not seen the video on him, go see Dr. Larry Simon. He's actually in the prisons right now. He used to run the SA groups to try to, help them control their urges. He's a fascinating human being, and he is in the prisons as we speak today, doing it. And in fact, when I interviewed him on the, recently, he was in the prisons, and he still is. And we both sit on the Cold Case Foundation together. He's a fascinating human being. Anyway, getting back to the idea here, so he is not able to process that quickly because remember, the secret life is all about if I say this, they'll know about this. If I say this, that will connect to this. And this is why it's important as a woman and quite frankly, as a man, to gauge initial conversation with a total stranger by not saying, tell me a little bit about yourself, or, where do you live, that kind of thing. But present it, a question, especially if you're dating, into, tell me a little bit about your life. Because what happens, the human condition, and what we call, criminal behavior analysis, CBA or CIA, criminal and investigative analysis. The idea is they have to think. And the first thing that comes to their minds, according to the research, is jeopardy. There could be a problem. And so they stop and they think, if I say this, will it lead to this? And so it's really important, you are women out there, be very courageous to say to a guy, tell me a little bit about your life. And that potentially could open up the secret life right in front of you while you're on that date. Okay. So let's listen.
And she's like, that's all I want. And I was like, well, okay, I can talk to him, And
so she thinks I done something with Summer.
I guess, I don't know. She just,
Wow.
well, she didn't say, she said she just wanted you to tell the truth. That's all.
Well,
so you see right there, he gives a long wow. Okay. Because now he's thinking, or he's got to be processing. Okay, this is a call about Jeannie. And I want to make sure that I can control the messaging about Jeannie. And so what he does is he interrupts that messaging process by saying, oh, now I have to think about Summer. So immediately he goes into denial, whether, that's accurate or not at this point. We didn't know about this until it happened. So there's a lot of secret life going on here that's starting to present itself.
I don't know if she was talking about Summer or if she was talking about you and her. So
I can come. I can tell him. I mean, I can do that. But as far as Summer,
right?
Damn.
Right, I know, huh? Right. And I think she might think that it was just an accident, with Summer, and I think she thinks,
Well, she's been watching all that BS on YouTube.
Right.
Mary, and unfortunately, okay, I've told you things that I can't tell people.
Right.
I can't tell that stuff on the internet, and I can't.
Right.
If I do, it'll mess with the investigation. And if the guy who actually took her or something is watching it, he can act it.
So the guy who actually took her or something. Well, what's that something? What's this something? The guy who actually took her or something.
Act accordingly. So I can't go on the air and say anything about the investigation at all.
Right.
And so these people have free reign to do whatever. I've tried to talk to people and
now, a while ago, I had played parts of this particular call, but I did not play what is going on here in totality. This is the whole call.
Explain some things, and it's got me in trouble.
Right. Well,
I can't talk about it all.
I want to let you know that there is this attorney that we went to school with him, in Roy Jr.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember him or not. A lot of kids picked on him because he was like a bookworm,
Yeah, right.
And I don't know if you remember him or not, but he's a really good attorney. But I was just asking him questions,
Yeah.
And I said, well, can you get sent to prison? Say if you hurt
The call was August of 21.
Somebody and killed him, can you get sent to prison if it was an accident? And he's like, well, no, not really, And I said, even if it's been a while, you can't.
Yeah.
And he said, no. He said that if it was an accident, he said it would be better if they was.
So one of the kind of conversations that we had, that Mary and I had, was let's give him an out. Let's give him an out. So right there was his out. And, you know, just like we're doing with the guy in Michigan, with D. Warner. Okay. It's easier now when you have an opportunity to tell your sister what's going down. So what she's doing is masterful. It's a great piece of work on this control call to guide him into, you know, a position of, look, you know, go talk to an attorney. Okay? And you have an out, and he's kind of going along with it, that I don't need an attorney. He does now, apparently. You know, I don't know what changed.
To come forward, but he said no.
Of
And
course.
I thought, well, that's a good thing, you know.
Well, yeah, we knew that. You know, that would be dumb to hide an accident. That would just be stupid.
Well, yeah. Some people make mistakes, though, Donnie. Not mistakes.
Well, it's happened before.
Is all, you know. And some people do, you know, dumb stuff, I guess you could call it.
Well, people have, you know, had accidents and then hid the body and they said that someone took them and they've done all that stuff, but that's not the case with us.
Right.
Well, isn't that interesting? That he lays out a narrative of a case or cases that he's familiar with, that there's been an accident, that people have, you know, then said, oh, that, you know, they were taken and they buried the body. In fact, let's go back for a second. While I go back, I want to bring in my buddy, Josh from the lab, because he's always got some cool insight, and I love having him here on the show. And then we're going to bring Mary up in a little bit as soon as she jumps in here. But if you haven't gone to the lab and subscribed to all the rats over there, go hit that button over there, because my buddy Josh is in the house. And what's up?
Hey, Chris, how are you?
Good. So I'm going to put, tell me what, so I'm going to play this next part here and listen to this. He comes up with a narrative of, you know, an accident, burying the body, and then telling people that that body was taken, or the person was taken. I find that very coincidental. Extremely coincidental.
People do, you know, dumb stuff, I guess you could call it.
Well, people have, you know, had accidents and then hid the body and they said that someone took them and they've done all that stuff, but that's not the case with us.
So he lays out the exact scenario potential in this case. What say you?
Well, it's funny that he said that, because when I had a phone conversation with Don before, I said the same exact thing to him. And I said, people hide accidents. And he says, yeah, they do. And then they hide the body, and then it's worse after that. And I go, what? It's just, he's laying out a scenario. He's laid all kinds of scenarios out, but it's almost like a valve that's leaking. You know,
exactly.
He's well, yeah, but or it's possible, but like when he said that he didn't trust Candace's friends, you know, I don't think she'd do anything, but you know, and he leaves all these openings. So very interesting. Is he having some firsthand knowledge? I mean, does he have firsthand knowledge? Yes.
And if we take it back to some of the first press conferences, guys and gals, go listen to those first press conferences where he says, I see her buried. I see her in a dungeon. You know, I see her being tortured. Okay. I mean, what lens, what fatherly lens is he looking through for his 5-year-old daughter?
I'll see her at the resurrection.
Right. Right.
I mean, all these scenarios are not something a father that is looking for his abducted child would be thinking.
Right. You would hope that there's more to this in terms of, now we know there's more in relationship to the secret life and how he, was treating women, even on YouTube. I mean, he blew up. I can't tell you how many times on people, and we all got to see that side of his, the secret life. But let's keep moving here on this call here, and because Mary's going to be up here pretty soon.
Right.
Somebody actually stole our little girl.
Right.
Why McDonough's doing this?
I guess that would be the only conclusion. Have you had any other conclusions at all? Other than
we just don't know. No, we don't know. Well, we know someone took her because we know. There's no other explanation. Well, we know someone took her, but we can't get that through Mr. McDonough's head or anybody else's. He wants to try to say he's trying to say that all that nasty crap. I don't even want to repeat. Right. I don't even want to repeat. But the thought of that is just freaking ridiculous and sick.
So he's embarrassed about his own SA activity and behavior.
Yeah, how dare you, Chris? I don't even want to repeat the things. Yeah, I mean, poor me. He's a victim. Everybody's against him.
Right. Here we go. And this, by the way, we're just getting into the real meat and potatoes on this call.
Sick. Right. I love my daughter with all my heart, man. I wouldn't. But McDonough spreading lies like that and trying to make it look like I'm that person, but and then getting Jeannie to believe that and
he's that person. Yeah. Well, no, there are 7 women that said you're that person. I'm actually so grateful that they came forward and showed you the person that you are. In fact, that you even had to apologize, or at least you felt like you should apologize, starting from the ages of 5 to 12 on your victim, that one. And the other victims will, there's more coming.
Her press charges and all this. That's all McDonough is trying to. Everybody can see what he's doing. Everybody can see what he's doing except for Jeannie. And I couldn't see what he was doing when he first come to me. Yeah. I mean, he's a snake in the grass. Yeah, I think Jeannie just wants you to come clean and just, not say that it was consensual between you two. And that's why I was trying to tell you, if you're going to do an interview, just tell everybody that it.
Okay. Heads up, everybody. Trigger alert. Okay. It's coming. He's going to blame a 5-year-old little girl, okay, for the activity. So I'm giving everybody a heads up here. Okay. If you feel uncomfortable hearing that, please, now is the time as we're getting close. Now is the time. Right. Exactly. Thanks, Vic Girl. Okay. So just a heads up. And he's also getting into the place where he talks about going to places in LA. And I find it interesting while they were in LA that other people came with them. I'm not going to even name anybody, but we know who they are. I find that fascinating.
Okay? Oh, we know who they are.
God, Donnie, you're human. People make mistakes. I'm so sick of people, getting pissed off at you for it. Okay, fine, you're human. You made a damn mistake. I wish they would do that, just tell them. Tell people, dude, cast the first stone, asshole, they can't. Everybody's human and everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has skeletons in their closet. Yeah. And it just makes me upset, It does me too. And we can't even focus on looking for our little girl because and I think maybe if you do come out, and say, dude, I'm human. I'm sorry, I made a mistake, And I think Jeannie, and then just say, Jeannie, I am sorry. I'm so sorry that this happened. I can't call you. You won't talk to me. So I guess I've got to do it publicly. I am very sorry for what happened to you. I never meant to do it. It happened. I'm human. People make mistakes. And just leave it at that. And I think people will say, right, you know?
Trish McDonough's just trying to hang me, man.
Right.
It really is. But,
Yeah.
but, you know, honestly, Mary, the way I feel about it, these lies have been spread about me all my life. And I've always felt that Jeannie's been talking about me to everybody all my life. You know, the stories that you told about me, worse than my own kids, which was a rumor that you said. It was a rumor.
Right.
And Trish saying this to her all these years.
Yeah.
I've been paying for this my whole life. How much more do I have to pay?
Right.
You know?
Well, that's why I'm saying, you know, like,
Jeannie had her moments too. She's not innocent. I mean, she can sit here and play like she's innocent, but I know I've done wrong. Yeah, I did wrong. Yes, I admit that.
Right.
But there was times where Jeannie played along too. That's all I'm trying to say.
Right. Well, I don't know about that, Donnie. I wasn't there, so I don't know. And it's really hard, you know. It's really hard because you're my brother and she's my sister.
Right. I'm not trying to hurt her. I'm not trying to say nothing like that. I'm just saying.
Oh no.
She's not told. I'm not trying to say. I won't say nothing bad about her.
Right.
Anything else? I won't do that.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, kids are curious when they're little, and you know. But she was a lot younger than me, and I thought it was strange that this little girl, you know, was acting this way towards me. But I just took it as, wow, she really likes me. Oh, wow, that's cool. You know, and but now I mean, you know, when you get older, you realize that kids are just curious, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, world. That is a confession. Mary had him confess 100%. And here's the hero in this incident, Miss Mary. Welcome. Are you doing okay? First of all, you know me, I always want to make sure you're safe and you're feeling okay.
Yeah, I'm doing great. How are you, Chris?
Okay, good. And I've got Josh with us, as you knew.
Yep. How are you, Josh?
I'm good, Mary. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too. And again, thank you for the gift. It was so thoughtful and nice.
Oh, you're welcome. I love getting online and picking it out for you. So
you're awesome.
This is great. And world, if you're just joining us, this is the superhero on the phone call here. She is a survivor and a warrior for her family. And she is ending this cycle of abuse. And this was her call with Dawn. And, you know, you were like a pro. You were a pro. I mean, I really, you know, take my hat off to you because you got him right where we needed him.
yeah,
go ahead.
That was my main goal, was to try and get him to talk.
Yeah, and the Utah authorities are moving on this. Yes?
Yes, we are so close. There's just one thing left for our detective to do, and then the DA takes over. Well, the DA is already into it.
Okay. And we don't want to jeopardize any court proceedings coming, so let's leave that in the background. But the world knows that Mary Strong and Jeannie Strong and Trish and other Strong, there's other names we're not going to name, Strong. How many total women came to the table, Mary, after you opened the door?
Well, altogether 5. 7 did come forward, but there's been 5 that out of all of us that have went in and made a report. So there's more than just our case. So
Right. And when you went to meet recently, there were 10 attorneys in the room, weren't there?
yeah, yeah. Our detective said he's never seen anything like that.
So let's pray that, and everybody keep that family, meaning Mary and Jeannie and all those other survivors, in your prayers, strengthen them. That then, and he's already been talked to in jail. I reported that a while ago with your permission, and I think
Yep.
Josh, you hit that too, right?
Oh, yeah, I did.
And so we already know that that box has been checked, and so there's only a couple other things left. I'm praying that it will lead to what your whole intent was in this call, to bring Summer home.
Yep.
And then of course, you guys found out that there were some good things that could come out of this in totality. And quite frankly, in the beginning, you kind of took a couple of curveballs too, and you were
Yeah.
very strong through it. And I'm very proud of you for going through this.
Yeah. It's been hard at times.
Yes. Yeah.
Chris,
And
and
so
oh, sorry.
go, Josh. Yeah,
I
no,
just
go.
want to say that how fascinating and empowering it is to watch the victims take back the power in this situation. And when you're talking to him on the phone the way that you do, he's now the scared one. He's the one now that is wondering, when is the shoe going to drop? These people are coming after me, after he has terrorized people for so long. And his meek little voice, with the way he's talking to you, it is just simply amazing to watch him cower to you and the victims. And God bless you for having the strength to do this.
Yeah.
Not
Thank
easy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's been, oh my gosh, just a few times, just family matters, It's been really hard.
Yeah, he's tried to manipulate your dad and all this other stuff, and we'll get there. But let's finish this call real fast, and then we can chit chat a little bit more. You okay with that?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we're getting to the place now, um, where remember our phone calls, you and I, where it's like, let me be the bad guy. Remember, I would always say that.
Yep.
Okay, and it worked, didn't it?
Right. Yep.
Okay, it worked perfectly.
Yeah.
And so now we're going to get to a place that has had me thinking. And the reason I wanted Josh here tonight, I wanted him to really think through this. And of course, you heard it, but it was so long ago that it didn't make a lot of sense in totality until one of the options was, you know, from his past behavior, because in your family, he was, on narcotics and drugs, and he tried to sell one of his children, or at least give the child away at some point, correct?
Yes. Yep.
And you were in the house when he came back, or correct, tell that story one more time before I keep going here.
Yeah, we were at my mom's and his ex-wife Pam had came in. It was 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. And she was crying up a storm, and she had little Donnie with her, and Margie was just a baby then. And she said that Donnie was down on 25th Street in Ogden trying to sell little Donnie for drugs. So, yep, it was bad. And then, I just remember my mom and dad trying to talk to him later on that night. He had finally came to the house, and um, it was just a big mess. He was that's all he was interested in was drugs. It didn't matter if his kids. He didn't care about his kids. All he wanted was money and drugs. So,
So there you go, America, or the world. This is something that has been almost done a while ago from one of his children. So this is why this next piece of this call became so significant in my mind a while ago, but the timing wasn't right. I'm always about strategically releasing stuff to move the investigation into a position of strength. And all this stuff has been turned over to the authorities. They've had it. They can do whatever they want with it. But I've been kind of staying alongside with CCF and others. So here we go.
Yeah.
They don't know what the hell they're doing, really.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know with Summer ever like that. She's starting to get curious. Because kids do.
So let me go
Yeah,
back
they
just for a
do.
second here.
Right.
No,
I'm not trying to hurt her. I'm not trying to say nothing like that. I'm just saying
Oh no.
she's not told. I'm not trying to say. I won't say nothing bad about her.
Right. I
Anything else?
know.
I won't do that.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, 'cause kids are curious when they're little, and but she was a lot younger than me, and I thought it was strange that this little girl, was acting this way towards me. But I just took it as wow. She really.
Now, what's interesting about that statement is this little girl was acting this way towards me. Well, you see, he has not humanized her as his stepsister. She is a victim, and he sees her through the lens of a predator. Because what he did there is he transferred everything to this little girl who's interested in me. And then he goes about to talk about how, other women have been interested in him in his life. But what he fails to tell us is this little girl is just that, a little girl. And she is, all of this stuff occurred between the ages of 5 and 12. Between the ages of 5 and 12. Okay. So think about that for a second, right? And Mary, I'm going to put you up at the top because that's where you belong so that none of this covers you. Okay. Because we get comments like this that say, good job, Mary. So I just wanted to point that out real fast, okay, for everybody. Listen to that again.
That's cool. I'm not trying to say. I won't say nothing bad about her.
Right.
Anything else? I won't do that.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, 'cause kids are curious when they're little, and but she was a lot younger than me, and I thought it was strange that this little girl, was acting this way towards me. But I just took it as wow. She really likes me. Oh wow, that's cool. And but now I mean, when you get older, you realize that kids are just curious.
Yeah.
They don't know what the hell they're doing, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't know what they're doing. They're just curious. Wow.
So tell him to stop.
Yeah. I mean, well, let's see. Who's the older one in the room by 7 years, right?
Right.
Right. I can't say it any better than what Miss Delta lady just said. What a sicko. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Instead of taking advantage of the situation, how about be the older adult and teach the child and nurture, not take advantage of the situation. And a lot of these guys, Chris and Mary, as you both know, the predators are victim blamers. It's just common, can never, that's why they go through their whole life making these mistakes. And then they can do that by blaming others, and they believe it themselves, even though it's not true. And we all sit back and go, how do you not see that? You're that sick.
Yeah, and right, there's probably a trail, and I think we know, right, Mary, that there was abuse even to him when he was younger. I'm not making excuses, but this is a learned behavior.
Oh
And
yeah, even Donnie himself on other interviews, I heard him, you know, talked
yeah,
about being abused. So,
right. And so for him, this is just another day in the office, for lack of a better term. And he's a master at manipulation. And this is why when you get these guys in these interviews where they would, one of the techniques, there's an investigative technique where you say, so tell me about the victim. And you hear these guys say in a cognitive interview where, well, if she wasn't or he wasn't wearing that bathing suit so tight, it wouldn't have enticed me. Okay. And this is exactly what he's doing. Everything is about them versus I can't, control what I want to do. And so they transfer that pretty quickly, and it's delusional. It really is, and this is where, why they're registered, because you can't control. All they can do is learn how to control the urge. Okay, they will not stop the behavior, and this is why they're so dangerous. And he's a good example of it. Okay, let's keep moving because I want to get to the part where he talks about L.A. and how I want you guys to weigh in.
I don't know, was Summer ever like that? Was she starting to get curious? Because kids do, you know.
Yeah, they do.
I don't know. I don't know. Did you ever encounter anything with the boys and her playing with each other or anything? I had some friends and their kids were about the same age as Amanda and Harley.
Wow.
And I had went over there and gosh, they were only like 4 and 5 years old, maybe 6.
Yeah,
5 or 6 or something. But, I guess that, my friend, she said that her daughter or something was telling her that Harley and Amanda were playing naughty with them or something. And she totally freaked out. Well, she took her to the doctor, and the doctor's like, dude, it's normal. For little kids to want to explore. But I can't remember how old they were.
Of
5 or
course,
6
it's just
years
normal.
old. But
it's normal, but I just didn't know. I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to go there or whatever. We didn't have no sexual education. Nobody told me.
You notice what he didn't say is what he did, other than I didn't know I wasn't supposed to go there, but then he qualifies it with SA. So we know that is another piece of this confession where he just said, SA, I did it. I did it. But then he's going, but I didn't know I wasn't supposed to do it, because in a normal behavior range, and if you go to any doctor, and I'm not a doctor, so if there's any doctors weigh in, okay, where what is a normal exploratory, doctor age for children, for lack of a better term? Well, I can tell you this, it's a curiosity point that every child goes through, but then it goes away. And what he's saying is it never went away for him. I find that very disturbing. What say you?
Yep.
It sounds like this has been his whole life, and he's made excuses his entire life. And usually these things don't get better; they get worse, even with age. And you become more emboldened the longer you get away with these kind of things, and you feel that you can get away with this stuff forever. I mean, look how long this has gone on. And inside that mind is a scary place to be.
Yeah. Mary, what do you think?
Yeah, I just, a lot of people keep questioning, well, it's learned behavior, so I have no clue, because myself with my stepdad, I call him dad, he was never ever like that with us kids, you know. And like I said, Donnie didn't even come to live with us until he was 12 years old. So, you know, I'm thinking it was probably from his stepdad. I really do think, you know, but I don't know. I wasn't there, so I
Yeah,
just
that's another piece of this puzzle that people forget. You didn't grow up with him.
mm-mm. Yeah.
Your parents remarried, or
Mhm,
your mom married his father,
mhm.
and all of that other. So all this abuse came with him and the family.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and yeah, and so this is also another important piece of this puzzle, guys, to remember. Okay, that there was, some other stuff going on behind the scenes, and he always had an out with his dad, but he didn't have an out with your mom.
Yeah.
Your mother always held him accountable. At least she tried, but then his stepdad would step in and kind of rearrange things. Am I correct?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What my dad said went, basically. You know, when he put his foot down, that was it. There was no questioning, no asking, no nothing. What he said went.
Yeah. Yeah, and keep the YouTube chat respectful or it'll be deleted per YouTube guidelines. Okay, let's keep moving because I want to get to this point.
The only thing I learned anything from was looking at damn dirty magazines, and that portrayed a pretty bad stuff.
Right.
So if you're going by that kind of stuff, you're screwed up. Sure.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, I mean, you got to figure she was only the age of Summer is now, and I can imagine, you thinking maybe like an 11-year-old boy or something trying to touch her. I'm sure that would freak you out, right?
Well, at first, I'm telling you the truth, man. She stuck her hands on my pants. I'm not.
Okay, there, right there. That was enough for me to say, okay, we've got a really high risk SA offender here a while ago. So he took that whole conversation, not about him, but right back to the victim to say, well, she started it. Go ahead, Josh. I can see you want to say something.
Yeah, right when he said the only thing that I learned from was like magazines and stuff, and then he says, and if that's what you learn from, you're totally messed up, and you're going, yeah, we can see that. I mean, what you're telling on yourself again by saying, oh, well, if that's all I had to learn from, and if that's what you learn from, then you're messed up. And then, I mean, he's trying to make every excuse possible. Nobody taught me this. Nobody taught me that. It's a choice to be a good person, and it's a choice to make the right and wrong decisions. He knew that it was wrong, even though he will never say that I shouldn't have done that. And he doesn't have it in him.
He's constantly blaming everybody else for his actions.
Okay, I'm going to keep going. And that was kind of disturbing for some. So, let's be sensitive and considerate of each other here in the chat. So make sure we're taking care of each other. That's the way we do it here at TIR. Okay. And I know the lab does it the same way. So let's keep it close.
Right.
If she can,
Right.
I mean, if she went to that, I'll admit. I'm not trying to be mean.
Yeah, I'm just.
Did you hear what he said? If she went to dad. Okay. Did I hear that correctly, Mary? Listen to this again. Sorry.
Sure, I'm sure that would freak you out, right?
Well, at first, I'm telling you the truth, man. She stuck her hands on my pants. I'm not lying. No.
Yeah, that was with the tickle game, Don, by the way. It was with the tickle game to a 5-year-old. So enough of that.
Right.
If she can,
Right.
I mean, if she went to that, I'll admit something.
I'm
I'm not trying to.
See, if she went to dad, I would admit some things. That's interesting.
Mhm.
I'm not trying to be mean.
Yeah, I'm just trying to understand because I don't know, you know.
Yeah.
I just
I know I shouldn't have let her do that. I shouldn't have done what I did. I get that.
right.
I still have, you know, I remember many times throughout my life, girls hitting on me. I've been to places in California where I've been.
Okay, this is the part for the whole call. This is the part I think has the most relevance potential in Summer's case. Okay, I'm going to back it up here, and I want everybody to listen to this very carefully, and then let's weigh in. So here we go.
Done what I did. I get that.
Right.
I still have, you know, I remember many times throughout my life, girls hitting on me. I've been to places in California where I've been to some places where there were little kids, where people were trying to sell these little kids.
Oh wow.
I've seen a lot of shit.
Okay, so let's stop right there. This is the whole reason I wanted to hold this call for quite so long, or at least this piece for quite so long. Okay. Did we just hear what he said? I'm going to back it up again. Okay. And you're going to hear it again because I think this is critical thought process information. Go ahead, Josh, while I'm doing it.
It's just, I don't know. It's just sickening the way he just goes about telling information. It's just, it's so creepy and odd. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, here he is. He's talking about how other women have hit on him. And then he shifts his thought process back to children. Do you see that? Does everybody catch that? Okay. So in his mind, it's, you know, I'm such a, you know, a good looking guy or a narcissist or whatever, you know, is clicking up there. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's actually about kids. They like me the most. Okay. Because listen, go ahead.
And sorry, Chris, and really fast, he doesn't finish that conversation or that sentence by saying, I've been to places where they sell little kids and I called the cops. I mean, that didn't come up, did it?
Yeah. Good point. Great point. Great point. And Mary, when I talked to you earlier today, it's been so long. Now you hear it again. Do you remember it?
Yeah, I do. Now that I'm listening to it, I had like totally forgot.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, you see, and this is what's amazing about you. You guided him right along the path. And now think about the relevance of this. Okay. Looking back, let's think about the potential relevance of this. If there is a possibility of this child being trafficked, being, out there somewhere. Well, guess what? He already knows where to go.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
And he already knows what to do.
He knows all those people. He's been there.
Yeah. Yep.
So
why have you been there? Who goes there? What's the point of being there?
Why are you there? Exactly. Go ahead, Mary. Finish your thought. I'm sorry I cut you off. I apologize.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, that was my thought too. You know, what are you even doing in a place like that for one? And why wouldn't you immediately call the cops as soon as you left there?
Of course.
Yeah. Amen. And you know what? Those types of places are in the dark web today, but he's saying he visited them back in the day. Okay. So everybody, let's listen to this piece of this puzzle one more time, and then let's think, does this apply in any way, shape, or form to Summer's case? Because if it's an accident, then okay, well, you know, you guys all know me. I've not left that house. Okay, I've not left that house. So somehow Summer got out of that house either by somebody she knew, somebody that had familiarity with that property, okay, or I can't think of any other way. The random abduction, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, but a lot of people have weighed in, that didn't happen.
Well, it's not just your opinion, it's also the card team's opinion.
Yes, it concurred. Right. And tell them who the card team is so that folks that are just joining us. So,
well, I don't know what the acronym stands for, but they are a special group from the FBI that tracks missing trafficked children, and they are state of the art, very fast, and they comb through everything. And before they left, they told the sheriff that they have nothing to indicate that she had been abducted or anything like that. A random abduction, they don't see that as the plausible scenario.
Child Abduction Rapid Deployment Team. And what they are is, just as Josh said, they are a specialized FBI team that travels around the country, and they're regionalized, and they respond immediately upon request to child abductions. But here, you know, here's the other point that somebody just, you know, pointed out. Who knows where these places are? What father you can say, hey, I know where they sell kids? What? And if you know where they sell kids, why haven't you told TBI? Why haven't you told the FBI? Why didn't you tell me? Because I would have told them.
Yeah, these places need to be shut down.
Yeah. And so
immediately.
This goes into the column of huge, huge red flags. And this is a $2,000 bingo card. Not $100. This is a $2,000 home run bingo card. And because let's listen one more time.
All my life, girls hitting on me. I've been to places in California where I've been to some places where there were little kids, where people were trying to sell these little kids.
Oh, wow.
I've seen a lot of shit that I just blew my mind.
Now, what he said there was he's seen it. So did he see transactions?
Was he a customer?
Was he a customer? That's a great point.
Was he a seller? I mean, the rumor about him trying to sell his son, seems to be more and more like there is some solid ground to stand on here. I've said it once, I'll say it again. This is degenerate drug addict behavior. It's not just drug addict behavior, because there are many drug addicts in the world who actually care about their children. They may not do the best by them, but they're not trying to sell their children or going to dens where people are doing that kind of thing. He hangs around those people. Why? Well, you got to make up your own conclusion, because I can't exactly tell you why, but I have an idea.
So Christina has a point here. It's not just one place, it's many places in every state. So I want to go back and I'm going to play it one more time because I think it's very relevant in my mind as a, you know, what my thought process is.
I still have, you know, I remember many times throughout my life, girls hitting on me. I've been to places in California where I've been to some places where there were little kids, where people were trying to sell these little kids.
Oh, wow.
I've seen a lot of shit that I just blew my mind. I seen a mother one time. I'm not sure, and I can't prove it, but I think she was trying to do the same thing with her own damn daughter.
Oh, really?
You know, but I don't know exactly, you know, or what. But it just seemed that way to me. I don't know.
Right.
So he mitigates his risk by lying about it. But
he knows more. When he said that, he knows much more. He really just gets to the line and pulls it back. I can't be sure and I can't prove it, but that seemed like what was going on. You know, old detective DW there. He knew what was going on, and that situation that he just described happened, and a lot more happened than what he's saying.
Amen. And Mary, this is look at this special person here. Thank you, Mary. Can you read that?
Can you read that to me, Chris? I don't have my glasses.
Absolutely, no problem. Hang on for a minute. Thank you, Mary. I was 5 years old. I was 5. I told my mom at 29 years old, "You've helped me a lot with the guilt I carried for hurting my family when I told. Thank you so much. Much love." MP. See there?
Yeah,
you're changing lives.
Right? Yes, that's awesome.
Changing lives. Retired PSI person here. The abused child becomes the abuser. Thus, in sad way, they are victimized twice. So tragic. To all the survivors out there, you are stronger than you know. In our prayers. Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah. Awesome.
You and I'm going to get to all of these. I'm just starring them just to let everybody know. Much respect. Thank you. So let's keep moving. Let's keep moving.
There's all kind of sickos out there.
Yeah.
That want money for drugs or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, I've seen some crazy shit in California.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy, Donnie.
It is.
Well, he wanted to say something more there for a second. He started and then he stopped just for a second. So it's interesting that he also brings up that he's seen people selling things for drugs, i.e. kids.
It is.
Yeah, that's really crazy.
I don't know. But
yeah, I don't know.
I can't believe. So Jeannie thinks. I guess a lot of people think I've done something with my daughter. Ain't nothing I can do about it. Especially since she come out and said what she said. There's nothing I can do.
Right. Well, you know, I can always talk to her for you, Donnie. You know that.
Yeah.
You know, and I can talk to her, but you know, like I said, you know, I wasn't there, so I can't really, you know, I can't vouch for her, and I can't vouch for you, you know, because I wasn't there, you know, so.
Well, there's a large group of people, thanks to McDonough, that think that I did something to my little girl and then killed her and all kinds of crazy stuff like this. And it just, I can't believe it. On top of losing my little girl, now he's going to turn around and make me look like I'm the one who did it to my little girl.
Right.
When the one who did it is getting away and laughing his ass off about it. It just freaks me out.
So you don't think there's no way at all that Candace or her mom could have done it with her? Not her mom?
No.
Are you sure? Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
You really are? You know them that good? And her mom,
I know
her mom that good?
I know Candace.
Right.
Well, Candace was putting a knee brace on her mother. Summer went down into the basement.
Oh.
See, everybody keeps forgetting about these details.
Right.
When the boys were upstairs playing on their games, when Summer went down the basement, Candace walked in the door. Where's Summer? Oh, she's down. She just went down the basement.
Right.
She goes down the basement. When she's down in the basement looking for her, my neighbor hears a scream.
Oh.
Okay. The dog seen it.
Okay, so this was the first reference to the Scream story. So that this was the very first reference. I think somebody grabbed that story and ran with it. You know, he's saying that he introduces. It's interesting that everything introduced into the narratives has been with Dawn. You see, and notice he qualified the small details. Okay. Why do you need small details in relationship to your daughter missing? Because most, from my experience anyway, what I hear parents have said is they're in pure panic mode. They're not into, you know, I knew exactly where he was or she was or whatever. Okay. And then, you know, he had to coach all of this. And this is why these details now are starting to unravel quickly. And I think in time here, that everybody is going to have an opportunity to really go back and you take a look at what they're, you know, what he said in the beginning, what he said here in the middle. This is August. So he's 3 months into it.
Yeah.
And he's pointing out to us the small details. Okay, well, what's the small detail? She was in the basement, allegedly, which I don't find is true. And, you know, at some point, you know, now Summer or Candace is over there working on the knee brace. Okay, working on mom's knee brace because apparently she can't put that knee brace on. But my understanding is, you know, she may have gotten a shot for it. You know, that's kind of information that's been floating out there now, you know, because she was in a lot of pain. So he, you know, he's just kind of adapting and he continues to adapt. But watch how quickly he goes back to, okay, the victimization here in terms of can we shut that valve off, i.e., Jeannie and Mary. He wants you to shut it down. That's what this whole call is about. Can you shut it down?
Yeah.
It's not about, can you help me find Summer?
Mhm.
It's, can you do me a favor? That Chris McDonough guy has kicked a hornet's nest and all those, they're all stinging me. The bees are stinging me. Do you think you can go and get this thing shut down by Jeannie? Yeah, exactly. April said soggy bread. Yeah. He's selling another loaf of soggy bread.
Yeah.
Okay. Were the flower beds new when you were there, Chris? No, I think they were the same. I think they were the same, to be honest with you. You are the true hero here. You've been Summer's voice, Mary. You have been a real hero in this whole scenario. Thoughts, Josh, on anything, and Mary, what I just said?
I was gonna say right before you cut that off, did he say the dog's seen it?
Let's find out. Okay, hang on.
Playing on their games when Summer went down the basement. Candace walked in the door. Where's Summer? Oh, she's down. She just went down the basement.
Right.
You notice he slipped. He goes, she's out. Oh, she's down in the basement. Listen to that piece of it.
Down into the basement.
Oh,
See, everybody keeps forgetting about these details.
I think there's no way at all that Candace or her mom could have done
No.
it. Or not her mom.
No.
Are you
No.
sure? Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
You really
Yeah.
are? You know them that good? And
Yeah,
her mom,
I
you
know.
know her mom that good?
I know Candace.
Right.
Well, Candace was putting a knee brace on her mother. Summer went down into the basement.
Oh,
See, everybody keeps forgetting about these details.
right.
When the boys were upstairs playing on their games when Summer went down the basement. Candace walked in the door. Where's Summer? Oh, she's down. She just went down the basement.
Right.
She goes down the basement. When she's down the basement looking for her, my neighbor hears a scream.
Oh.
Okay, the dog seen it. The dog seen it. Which followed her scent down to the road. She never goes down to the road, ever.
So what he's doing is he's he's crossing the events into his story. What I mean by that is he's now merged the scream idea. So he heard that from somebody. He didn't hear that. He's now merged the dog scent idea, okay, from where her scent was last, picked up. Okay. He didn't see that. He wasn't there for that. But he's added it to the story. Okay. The boys are upstairs, Summer goes downstairs. Okay. And a lot of this story is emerging as he continues to grow with the information that's being provided, that was provided out there 3 months into this. Okay. And so that's why it's so important to stay focused on those first statements in the press conferences early on, where, he is laying out, what he thinks and sees and what she sees and what she thinks. And this is why I pointed out a long time ago where, he says, basically, something to the effect of, she's not with us. And Candace, remember, a look is worth 1,000, a picture's worth 1,000 words, right? And she looks at him and goes, well, I'm looking for my daughter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
So that's kind of a huge in the beginning. You can't, everything else after that, they can add to the script. It's like writing a play. Okay. You take a pencil and you say, I don't like that line, let's make it fit. And this is why this story so long into this now keeps meshing. It's like a living document. It keeps moving. And this is classic criminal behavior. It's classic, the manipulation of, oh, I heard this. Okay, I'll deflect over here and I'll blame this guy or that guy or you, Mary, or Jeannie or Josh. Yeah, I heard it on the lab. These kind of things, and they mix in.
Yeah.
And it becomes so confusing. But what they can't do is unwind what the facts are initially presented. And that's, any good investigator knows, you always stay at the beginning, and until you see a pattern of the evidence shifting you and taking you away from the beginning, okay, then you now have a quarter of the way into it, halfway, etc., and it keeps moving. Okay. I have solved hundreds, if not thousands, of cases involving that principle. You do not want to get far away from it. And you go back like we're doing tonight. I mean, we're going back to that call. I went back the other day and I was like, there's something here. I know there is. And sure enough, boom, it hit me. Was, holy crap, this guy was in LA where they're selling kids. I needed the other information, like we all did, for that relevance to say, is that a possibility? Is that a possibility? And, thoughts?
Well, another thing about their story is that it gives them the maximum plausible deniability, meaning she's safe in the house. Somebody went in there to take her. I did my job by protecting her and walking her over to the steps because I'm a helicopter mom, and I ushered her in, handed her off the responsibility to her brother, saying, where's your sister? Watch your sister. She's in the basement. I'm not in the house anymore. I'm outside helping my mother with a knee brace because apparently neither of her arms work and she can't put a knee brace on herself. So she is separating herself from the scene, and the only people that are in the house are the boys, and surely they're not going to get in trouble for negligence because they're just children. So how can anybody blame me or Dawn or Grandma for the story that we're going to tell and stick to And that is the long and short of it. That's where their story comes from. It separates themselves, or they separate themselves as far as possible from the actual events that took place.
Yeah, interesting thought. Mary, what do you think?
Yeah, I think like Josh, it's just so weird that they both, it's like they can't keep their story straight, you know, and everything that they've said since she's gone missing, it don't make sense, you know. And it seems like they've blamed the boys and they've blamed everybody else except for their self in this whole situation, you know.
Yeah, interesting. Good input. Very good input, both of you. Appreciate that. So let's keep moving in this because, it gets interesting.
So the dog scent followed her trail down to the road where it disappeared with meaning she was thrown into a vehicle.
Uh-huh.
And
Wow.
everybody forgets about them little facts like that because I don't know, man. I'm so pissed off. And I'd like to know who these 5 women are.
Okay. There again, classic criminal behavior. Okay. He's now, okay, I got the script out. She was thrown into a vehicle and everybody forgets about those, those facts somehow. Okay. Oh, but let's talk about the 5 women that have accused me of SA. Okay. When you get a moment.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about what did the vehicle look like, Don? And, where was it parked? What direction was it facing? Which door was open? Which door was she thrown into? What did the driver look like? Was there a license plate available? Did anybody get a picture of it? Did anybody go up on the road to see where it had driven? Has anybody collected tire tracks? Has anybody done anything? Oh, no, they haven't. Okay, but let's talk about the 5 women while you got an opportunity here, Mary, because I'm really calling you, i.e. him and you, right? I'm really talking to you because I'm only interested in what they said about me and how I can stay out of prison.
Yeah, he sure did the subject real fast, didn't he?
He did. He did. And how many times has he been doing that to you, Mary?
Man, too many to count.
Yeah, exactly. You are a absolute superhero, an amazing human being. I love you and your husband. I mean, he married so far up he can't even see straight. That is a true statement. You have brought this case so many directions in the correct course by staying focused on the simplistic comments that he makes. And this is his voice. This isn't my voice or TIR's or the lab or yours. This is his voice talking about his child. And you don't need, you know, you don't need a PR person to tell you what to say when your child goes missing. You need, none of that. How much does he have left on his jail sentence? Anybody know?
It's a couple months, I think. And then he's supposed to report to rehab, or like a halfway house or something. But I wouldn't be surprised, good behavior. Who knows? It's supposed to be 11 months total or something like that, but he's got a couple months left in county, and then he's supposed to report to a rehab.
Yeah, and let's hope that we do find out where Summer is, right? 3 months in jail. Okay, so he's got 3 more. Okay, so let's keep moving because he gets again more interesting here.
Supposedly did the same crap or whatever.
Yeah,
I'd like to see that.
I'd like to know who they are too. That's kind of interesting.
Well, he's making another show.
Right.
But you can tell Jeannie, you know what? I'll apologize for whatever happened between us.
Uh-huh.
But as far as Summer, I've told the truth from the beginning, and I haven't lied one bit.
Right. Well,
I've always told the truth on that
yeah.
from the day one.
Do you believe in Mary?
No. Nope.
And now everybody's turning it all around. And the only reason we released all the pictures and everything else and everything like we did was to help find Summer.
Uh-huh.
But it's just turned into a nightmare because of people like Chris McDonough.
Yeah, some of them pictures you guys posted, God, she is such a cute little girl, Donnie. Oh my hell.
Oh, no.
She is so cute.
She loved me with all her heart. She was my baby.
Right?
She was all about me, and I loved her to death.
Yeah.
I love her with everything I got, and now I lost her. And now, thanks to Chris McDonough, if they ever do find her, I might not ever get her back. I might not ever get her back, even if they do find her, because of all this.
Oh, because of Jeannie and stuff. Well, you know, Donnie, I really do think it'll probably just all go quiet because I think Jeannie.
I don't think so. Chris McDonough.
Well, I think Jeannie just wants another apology because I think she feels like maybe the first one wasn't real. I don't know. You know, and I wouldn't put in there anything about it being consensual or anything. I would just say I'm just here to apologize and let her know one more time.
Okay.
You know, something like that.
Well, call her and ask her, will you? And then tell her, look, I've told the truth from the beginning about Summer. Me and Candace both have.
Okay.
We haven't wavered one bit, and we're not going to because we told the truth from the beginning.
Right.
But nobody wants to believe us.
Right. Well,
I mean, the cops do.
If it ever comes down to needing a lawyer or anything, let me know because I mean, if it ever does come down to that, let me know because this guy is really good, and I think you'll remember him from school. So, but yeah, you know, I just want you to know that I'm here for you, Donnie. So.
Okay, well, I appreciate it, Mary.
All right.
Please call her and see what she wants to
do. I will, Donnie.
And find out about these other girls. I don't understand what that's about. So,
you know what? I will ask her and see what's going on. Right. She'll probably know. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I love you. Appreciate it. I'm gonna try to get back to work. All right. Thanks.
Love you too. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, I've got to say, I have to say this, Mary. If you were a CI for me, which you were here, basically, okay, and I put a wire on you, this is gold.
Right.
This is gold. You are amazing at how you got him. Do you realize what we just listened to tonight? You got him. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I mean, I do realize, I mean, I had to make him believe, you know, that I was right there with him and for him, you know.
You know what? If this goes to trial at some point, you and your sister are going to be the absolute talk of the world.
Right.
You know, because, and I hope, you know, the fact that people really appreciate that you took a risk here by exposing him the way that you did. And there's many more calls, aren't there? I mean, we have them all. And we've been very careful about the timing on this, have we not? We've had a lot of conversations behind the scene. I mean, there's been stuff that, you know, we don't want to jeopardize your case. We certainly don't want to jeopardize Summer's case. And so my experience has told me, you know, A, B, C, and D, and sometimes you have to drop things like this, but you got him to admit that he's been to places where children are sold, number one. So he knows where these places exist. I mean, who on this panel, who else knows that? Right. Go ahead. Say what you were going to say, Mary. I'm sorry.
And it's not just California either. I think I've had talks with him where he said he was in Mexico. And, you know, he's seen that. I've heard him say he's been in motel rooms where he's sitting there watching these other people like beating up children and raping them. And it's just like, who does that? You know what I mean? Just the bad people, in my opinion, you know? So,
You know, and thank you, Curtis. The fact that he can just, and by the way, we've held that information for quite some time, that he did say all of those things, and you know, the fact that, you know, he was in places not only just in LA but through his lifetime,
yeah.
where he's witnessed children being victimized.
Yes. Yeah.
So, guys, you know, that's the first time you're hearing this tonight, because, you know, we obviously, you know, didn't want all of it out there in stuff, but it's time right now. Makes him think all to do Dr. Phil. Yeah, exactly. What's going on there? Okay, now all of this now is coming out, right? And I wonder what they're thinking today.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have any update from Ellie over there today. I know there's updates on the Utah stuff. It's moving, but right now they're still working. Josh, do you know anything?
You know, it's just all quiet on the Candace front. She's seems to be ducking her head down for some reason after her little media tour. But as of no, all is pretty quiet. But you know, there's so much in this phone conversation that it's just odd that this phone conversation happens with somebody whose child is missing. That is, you can just stack one on top of the other and go, well, yeah, something nefarious happened, and these people have intimate knowledge of it. What exactly, we don't know, but we definitely know they're not telling the truth.
Yeah, I was listening to actually a phone call the other day that I had with him. And when I was talking to him about Summer, I started crying. And, you know, I was listening, and Donnie, not one time, I mean, no emotion or nothing. And I'm sitting there crying, you know, and just nothing from him, like no emotion at all. It's, you know, it's weird that both him and Candace don't, it's like they have no emotions for her or their kids. I don't understand, you know?
Well, it's all about getting himself out of trouble. I've had phone conversations with Don before where he didn't want to talk about Summer at all. What he wanted to talk about were the people that were against him. And it wasn't, what can we do? I don't know what to do. What else can I do? What should I do? It was just about, all these people are all against me. You know, obviously he knew that he knew that you and I were friends, and he would try to peel me off, basically saying, you know, he's trying to ruin my life. You're not that kind of person. And I'm thinking, I am that kind of person, actually, because first of all, I don't like you just because of all the things I've heard you say. But
I'm sorry to hear that.
You know, he had it in for you. He was upset with you, and that became his obsession, not finding Summer. And then he blamed not being able to look for Summer on the fact that all of his skeletons that he's done in his past are coming out. And because of that reason, he has hindered me from finding my daughter. Classic behavior of a lunatic. I mean, he is crazy. He's out of his mind.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
especially when the drugs and alcohol get going, it gets really bad.
oh yeah, no, those are really great comments. And
All three of us up here have experienced that wrath, that nastiness. I mean, he has lashed out at each of us, and we've seen it and listened to it firsthand, directed at us. It's 0 to 100. If he feels like you're even, and another thing is, if you go, all right, Don, okay, I understand, and then he'll go, okay, all right, oh, like I got you back, and it's a mental game, and he's very used to trying to get people in his corner. And he loves it. Like, Mary, the way that when you were talking, that's the only way that you can talk to him to get any information out of him. You have to sympathize with him, because if you don't sympathize with him, you might as well just be his arch enemy. There's no in between. There's no, well, she doesn't like me because of, I'm looking for my daughter, or she wants to help find my daughter. She doesn't like me, but I'll take her help anyway. I'll do anything I can to find my daughter. If you say one bad word about him, he hates you.
Yeah.
And you're evil.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You have to be that way with somebody like Don, because he wants sympathy. He wants people that he can lean his head on and say, they're treating me so bad. They're just, I don't know why they would do this.
Mm-hmm.
And you go, well, I mean, have you heard the things that you say? The things that you've done? And your daughter's missing? I mean, this isn't just, I mean, it is about Summer, no question about it, but he has done many other things in his life that he has not answered for yet or paid for, that he should, and that hopefully he will. This just all kind of coincides. It's part of his behavior. He leaves a trail of destruction everywhere he goes.
Yeah. Yep. And another thing, I think he knew Chris was on to him and Candace, and I think that's why he turned on Chris, because Chris was getting too close to, to letting to the truth coming out. And he immediately turned on Chris, and Chris was the biggest bad guy ever.
get in line.
Right? Yeah.
Donnie
Yeah,
needs to get in line. He needs to get in line because, I'm a small potato in a very big bag of chips out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Salty bag of chips.
Salty. Hey, by the way, I'm off of salt. So
good for you.
Thank you. I know. I love your food though. Karen's like, no more salt for a while.
We can't be friends anymore.
I know, right? Yeah, I know. So no, I appreciate your kindness in that. And I just, I've never played the call where they called me. I think I played it for you, Mary, where they called me drunk. And both he and CW, and I mean, it was like 5 minutes of pure love.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think I heard every adjective in the book, and it was pretty interesting to say the least. But I think it's just too vulgar to play. So there's no need in it. We've heard him on other channels go ballistic, and I like to keep the community under the guidelines of do the right thing for the family. And I still think you have been doing just an amazing job of holding it together and for Jeannie. And by the way, how is Jeannie doing? Can we ask that?
Yeah, she's doing good. Yeah, she's doing really good. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And she was smart because we suggest you just stay low, stay in the background, and you've been the family advocate up front.
Yeah,
You
pretty
know,
much. Yep. Yeah.
yep. And most recently, you were even thinking that when he went out to Utah, and we talked about this, I talked to Josh about this offline, where we went out and did some searching for you back there, and not to get into a whole bunch of details, but the CCF did. And
Yeah.
one of the thinking you were having is they could have somehow got her out to an area in Utah and dumped her.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Yep.
share everybody what your thoughts were on that, because you did a
Well,
video on it on your channel. People should go watch it.
right. Yeah, I did. It was called No Cooking, Just Looking for Summer's Honorary Marker, because him and Candace had um, went up Ogden Canyon on a layover from Dr. Phil and done an honorary marker for Summer. And I had been watching it and I thought, well, isn't that strange that they would do that, especially on a layover. I guess layovers can last for hours at a time, but I don't know. I just thought it was really strange. And so I was going to go up and do a video on it, and I got a hold of you first because it was bothering me, and I thought, well, and then I started thinking back when Candace had came on to that reporter and said that Donnie had went missing for a couple, 3 or 4 days, maybe 5 days even. And I thought, well, that would be long enough for him to maybe move her body and come down here and, go up Ogden Canyon and maybe bury her up there. And so I got a hold of you, and we kept it quiet, because we didn't want to stir anything up. And we had oh my gosh, what's it called? The crime scene investigators, or
Yes. Yeah.
anyways, they had went up there, yeah. And
Right.
so
Just in case, right?
yeah. It's plausible. You never know. People have done weirder stuff than that. So,
Absolutely. And they could have, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, Mary,
Josh,
good for you.
what do you
You've searched more for Summer than both of her parents combined.
yeah, I was just, I was hoping. I was thinking, well, gosh, I wouldn't want them to find her up there, but I was hoping because I just want her found.
Imagine claiming to be Don's friend, like seeing some good in him. I mean, there's a couple people out there that do that, and it blows my mind.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and you're right. It's very difficult sometimes, when you see some of the, obviously stuff like this, right? And you hear stuff like this, but it's imperative at this point while the victim, i.e. Summer, is still missing,
Mhm.
right? And I know what you mean, Josh, because you and I have talked at length. And you're right. We just want to reach out and say, you know what, one of these days. But those days are coming at some point. The amazing part about things like this is they never go away. And, at some point when somebody's looking at a very high mountain that they need to climb, sometimes it's easier to take the shortest route out. And any smart defense attorney would tell you that.
Mhm.
And so you have created what we call leverage. And, we, meaning other people that have been doing this for a couple of weekends, know that leverage sometimes is necessary.
Yeah.
It's not the full force of the law, right? But it is, important to utilize those tool sets, and the availability of the law, into other cases to get bigger things. And so I'm hoping and praying. And by the way, mods, two things. Number one, if you could put Mary's channel in the chat and Josh's in the lab. If you have not subscribed to either one of these channels, would you please tonight do so? These are great people. They're friends of mine. I vouch for them. And, you know, with Mary's got her cooking show, it's amazing. Try her meatloaf. We did. It was off the hook. And then your pulled pork aloha stuff or the Hawaiian stuff.
Pork. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Tabasco
was
wings.
good,
Don't
wasn't
forget
it?
about.
I want to let you know you sent me to the ER. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Right.
But, oh my gosh, Mary, it was nuts. It was so good. And
Good.
you know, each and every one of you, you know, please get over there and subscribe to her channel. You know, you guys are such good people. And Mary, by the way, what do you got on the grill now? What are you cooking up?
Well, tonight I made my mom's burritos, and I while I was making, I'm going, gosh, I should have done a video on this. But you know, I was gonna put another video out here probably tomorrow or the next day. I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna make yet. I just go to my fridge or my recipe box and I think, gosh, and I'm looking at all my recipes and everything, and I just come across some going, oh my gosh, I haven't made that for a long time. But there is one that I've got. It's homemade summer sausage. You can
Oh,
just make out of hamburger,
Simmer
and
down,
you
Chris.
right, and you put it in your oven. You can dry it like it dries in your oven, and it's such a good recipe. Yeah. So I
awesome.
was thinking about doing that, and maybe even doing some refrigerator bread and butter pickles. So
Really?
yeah,
I love pickles. I
right.
love pickles.
Yeah, me
If
too.
you've ever watched my channel, you know I love pickles.
And corn dogs.
And I can already see the pickle emoji starting. They're gonna be here.
If we have any pickle emojis, let's throw them up for
trust me.
Josh on behalf of his. Do you make corn dogs, Mary?
You know what? I've tried, but they've never turned out.
Did I ever share the time where Josh had me in the back room and I watched him devour these delightful stick things that, you know, I used to love them too. But
Right.
anyway, there's going to be a big story about that at some point coming.
Love it.
Just
Okay.
to give you a heads up, right, Mayor?
Nice.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
What you didn't know about that, Chris, was that I had ketchup on the bottom of my shirt and I was dipping the.
You guys, you're hysterical. You're hysterical. Okay, so I have a tradition on my channel, and that tradition is to allow my guest to have the last word. So what we're going to do is we're going to go first. I'm going to allow Josh to get in a word, and then Mary, you are, in my opinion, a superhero, and you are going to have the last word. And I hope everybody gets a chance to go over there. The chat's going to be up, for the replay. I'll probably open the comments so that we have at least respectful dialogue. If it gets too crazy, I'm going to just turn them off because it's just not worth the drama. I don't do drama on TIR. Okay. And I'd rather have the algorithm affected versus a human being affected. I don't like that. So with that said, I'm going to pull myself out. Then Josh, you're up first, and then we'll, close with this wonderful woman here and let her tell the world whatever is in her heart. Okay. So hang on. Let me pull out before you get there. Okay. And
Yeah, Mary, I just wanted to say again, thank you so much for the thoughtful gift. And I'm glad that you and I have become friends, and it doesn't end when this story and this saga ends. We'll be friends forever. And you're an inspiration to me, because I too have spent my life standing up to people who have done me wrong and my family wrong, and it's not easy to do. And so, you're just an inspiration to a lot of people, and just keep doing what you're doing, Mary. And we love you. And from everybody at the lab, I know how we feel about you and Jeannie and all the victims. And so I just wanted to say thank you, and we love you.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you so much. And I just want to let everybody know, thank you so much for all your kind words and, your thoughts and your messages. Even though I don't answer you guys, when you message me and stuff, even when you're asking about Jeannie or anything, I talk to her every day, and we just appreciate everybody and everything you guys do and say for us. So I just wanted to say thank you to everyone. And you too, Chris, thank you for having me on. And you're such a good friend. And everybody just have a wonderful night.
Hard working every day, I'm stressed out 24/7, babe. No timeouts, wish we could fly away. You and I go to our favorite place. Oh yeah, make special memories together. I'll be your company now and forever. I say we fly away, you and me, go to our favorite place. Feeling the sun on my face in Hawaii. With you, Hawaii. With you, Hawaii. With you, Hawaii. I need a summer breeze, some fresh air to put my mind at ease. No cares. You wanna come with me? Me and you go to our favorite tree. Are you ready now? We jump on a plane now. We're taking away. Yeah, we're taking away. Don't hesitate now. We're taking away. Yeah, we're taking away. We'll never come down. We're going away. Yeah, we're going away. You and me. Feeling the sun on my face in a way.